Are you ready to listen to a podcast?
Here comes the Playhouse Podcast, thanks to Bradshaw and Bryan Law Offices.
Find, subscribe, and listen.
So I saw the meme again on Facebook, and it reminded me for some reason, Troy. It reminded me of Troy that goes to Mexico with us, and I'll tell you why. But it says you should never take a sleeping pill and a laxative at the same time. Never turns out well. And I'm like, I don't know when the last time I had to take like a sleeping pill was. Aside from like melatonin, if you had to get out of the house for a fire, melatonin would allow you to wake up. But we go to Mexico with this guy named Troy, and he'll take he hates flying. And so to ease his mind a little bit and he can just sleep his way there, he's a massive man. And he'll take like a horse tranquilizer.
It's a big pill.
And just down the hatch.
His doctor prescribes it, and it gets him basically, he says, all right, I'm going to, I'll hit this right when we're leaving the tarmac.
I'll see at customs.
Yeah.
Is basically what he says. And I'm like, okay, but I wouldn't trust that. I would probably sleep well past landing.
I know a lot of people that take Ambien if they're doing more than a 2-hour flight, and they just crash. He says I have a friend that actually flies a lot for his job still, even through the pandemic, and an hour before he's supposed to board, he'll have a drink at the bar.
Oh God!
And
what?
then, and I'm not suggesting you do this, right? Again, you do you, but this is what he does. He'll have a drink, like a Bloody Mary or a beer.
Okay.
And then he'll sit at the gate. And he'll have a bottle of water. And as his, like they call your class to start boarding, he'll pop the pill. And by the time they're in the air, he's dozing off. And he tells the, whoever's the flight attendant, by the way, I'm going to be out. Don't wake me and give me any soda or cookies or crackers or whatever.
Yeah.
And just wake me when we get there. And he says it works perfect for him. He's well rested when he gets there. And he doesn't want to deal with all the stuff that goes on in a flight.
I guess if you know it's going to time out well. The last time I came back from Arizona, I was sitting next to this girl and I'm like, oh no, I forgot. What do I take for... Dramamine. So I'm like, oh no, I forgot to buy Dramamine. She goes, oh, I have some. I took a pill from a total stranger. And after I took it, I'm like, it's non-drowsy, right? And she's like, yeah. And I was out. I was out for the whole flight, which is about 3 hours. Yeah. And it was a good sleep. I'm like, thankfully I took it because I just slept the whole way through. I didn't feel sick.
I don't know if I'd recommend the whole taking pills from strangers thing.
I don't even know what was wrong with me.
Even if they're wrapped up in the box and everything like that. Like, that's a bad look, man.
Like, she took it out of the Dramamine little circle bottle. And I'm like, okay, I'll just take it. Didn't even think twice about it. Jeez. I go, you got a friendly face. Hand it over. And so I took it then. But I really have not taken it. But have you taken a sleeping pill? And it probably wasn't the best time, maybe before you walked your daughter down the aisle.
Guys, we had an intern a few years back. And
totally forgot.
She would take Ambien because she had trouble sleeping. So she was, I think at the time, a junior in college, maybe a sophomore.
Working at a bar downtown.
Yeah, she would work late nights at a bar, go home at 2:30, take an Ambien, and then walk here to the radio station
at 5:30.
5 o'clock in the morning. And she would be in the studio sometimes because, like, a lot of times when we bring on interns, they'll do more than just answer phones. They'll be in here trying to learn about broadcasting, right? And so Kat would go, all right, so do you get that? And she would look right through her and go, huh?
Yeah.
And we're like, are you okay?
Dangerous.
And she's like, yeah, sorry, I took Ambien last night. I'm like, you were on 3 hours sleep and you still took an Ambien and you think you're going to function today? We just send her home. We'd be like, you got to walk home.
You got to walk home. Well, now saying this all out loud was really bad.
Very, very odd situation. So you found yourself needing a little bit of help getting to sleep. Next thing you know,
some of the
post-sleeping pill.
Yeah. Some of the best advice given is don't take a sleeping pill and laxative at the same time. And I saw the advice again on Facebook. And sometimes you need that friendly reminder. Like, sometimes things don't pair well. But when was the last sleeping pill situation? Should not have taken it when you did. Laura texted, I took a sleeping pill one night because I wasn't sleeping well for the last week. Went online shopping, spent $1,500. You hear about those horror stories, shopping on Amazon or Ambient, and you just order too much.
Never done more than just like the little bit of melatonin, to take the edge off. But I hate, like, this job, you got to get up and get going right away. And so
I would be afraid to oversleep.
I'm not that. I just feel groggy. I can't get my head sharp right away.
That's why I stopped melatonin. I was taking 5 milligrams of melatonin, and then I would wake up, and it was like, no, I can't do this. I would be up at like 1 a.m. ready to go, and then I'd force myself to go back to bed. I don't do that anymore.
Hey, Steve, what happened with the wife and the sleeping pills here?
She smacked me in the middle of the night saying that there was a spider coming at her.
Oh, bad dreams.
She was having a bad dream, and she started smacking me in her sleep, screaming that there was a spider coming at her, like a giant spider.
Yeah.
And?
I told her that there wasn't even a little spider in the room.
All right.
She was freaking out because she thought there was a huge spider coming across the room at her, and when I got her awake, she started apologizing.
Oh.
And then she fell right back to sleep.
Oh, I hear that's what happens when you're on sleeping pills. It just like heightens whatever dreams that you're having, makes them so real.
That's the other thing. I wouldn't want to have the scary dream.
Yeah, that would not be fun.
Well,
this is exciting for the Batman lover in the family. It's always fun to theme out a birthday party, maybe even just like a family Friday fun night. But it looks like Little Caesar is going to start selling their Batman themed pizza, or like you said, calzones.
Yeah.
Later on this month.
Well, no, they get product placement in the new Robert Pattinson Batman movie, which there was a new chunk of trailer that just came out this morning.
Look at you geeking out.
I watched it in my office like 4 times. I can't wait.
God.
Guys, I haven't gone to a movie like in a theater since the pandemic hit, and there's been a couple that I've been like, I'm gonna go.
And you never do.
I will pull a cat when this one comes out, and I'll go myself if I have to.
Really?
If I can't find somebody, my wife won't go to stuff like this. She doesn't like this kind of stuff.
You think he'll do a good job? Does he look like he's going to do a good job?
Really good.
Oh.
Really good.
Okay.
I'm very, very excited for it.
Nerd.
And so I think the movie comes out real soon, but they got product placements, so now they're making calzones that basically, and pizzas that look exactly like Batman.
That's cool with the bat signal in the middle. So I am excited about this. It's always fun to think of a new way to theme out a birthday party. So just to get it on your radar for that cute little Batman lover in your life, turn to Little Caesars.
And where do you get it? Little Caesars.
Yep.
Pizza.
Love it.
Radio Paparazzi.
Martha Stewart, she understands what ladies see in Pete Davidson. A lot of people are giving Kim K the side eye. What are you thinking? What do you see in him? But Martha knows.
He doesn't quite look like Warren Beatty, but he is a charming guy. He was on the roast of Justin Bieber with me. I don't know if you remember. That's where I first got to know him. So he's a charming guy, boyish, very boyish. He's only 26 years old or something like that. And he is funny and friendly. And I can see why the girls go for him.
How old is Pete Davidson?
He says he's only 26. He's got to be in his 30s, right?
He is 28 years old.
She's close.
Okay. All right. We can work with that. Okay. So Minnie Riperton, that is, she sang in 1974, Lovin' You. She's the mom of SNL's Maya Rudolph. She's in Grown Ups and she's funny girl. But Chloe Bailey, the artist, is taking on the cover. And she's with the whistle note, hold my beer. Check this out.
The reason people don't cover this song is because they can't hit this note coming up here.
Whoop.
Oh, she did it and controlled it. That's pretty good.
I got some goose pimples going on. Olivia Rodrigo, in her teens, she is giving some of the best advice out there.
I guess right now what I'm thinking about most is something my mom tells me all the time. It's those who matter don't mind and those who mind don't matter.
That is so true. Put that on your mirror when you're getting ready every morning. I am beautiful. I am strong. Those who matter don't mind. Those who mind don't matter. Blowing out their candles today, we have Alicia Keys turning 41. And your hero, former WWE star, the Honky Tonk Man, is 69 today. President Biden caught on a hot mic. So what you learn in radio is that your mic is always on. You never know. You never know if something is going to glitch and someone's going to hear what you're saying. But on Monday, he was referring to Fox News reporter Peter Doocy as a phrase that I need to use more.
Do you think your place is a political liability?
That's a great asset. More inflation. What a stupid son of a bitch.
I literally don't use that enough. I think that it is so funny. And
Well,
Peter
again,
Ducey is
probably not becoming of our president to be
It's
mumbling
not.
that under his breath.
Okay, so a former president didn't say worse than that.
All
but
presidents, I'm sure, have said worse, but they didn't have their mics left on. That's
listen,
the
they're
difference.
under a massive amount of stress. I feel like you can say that. You know what I mean? But he did end up giving Peter Ducey a phone call and apologized.
Within about an hour of that exchange, he called my cell phone and he said, "It's nothing personal, pal." And we went back and forth and we were talking about moving forward. And I made sure to tell him that I'm always going to try to ask something different than what everybody else is asking. And he said, "You've got to." And that's a quote from the president, so I'll keep doing it.
There you go. Okay, so a Michigan teacher, listen, my mom's a teacher. They have to go through a lot of training to make sure you know how to handle an active shooter situation. Nowhere in the syllabus of their training did it say grab some sports gear, it'll do the trick.
What can I give every single student to prepare themselves? I thought a hockey puck. It can really hurt you, especially 30. You can keep them on the desk like this, but my kids just fidgeted with them. So then I got smart. I got some double-sided tape, some scissors, and I just cut a strip of tape for every puck, put a puck under every single desk within reach, and that way kids can use them if they need them.
Wait, what? What are they going to use them for?
They're going to chuck the hockey pucks at the active shooter that has a gun and bullets.
It's an A for effort, and most people aren't doing anything, but I don't know if I want to encourage the children to take on the shooter with the puck.
Yeah, I don't know about that either.
So my son is a sophomore in college, and he had told me last weekend that he met a girl in one of his new classes who is very forthcoming and outright to let anybody that she has a conversation with know that she already has her wedding planned out.
Oh, she talks about it a lot.
When she said this to him, he's like, "Oh, cool. How long have you been engaged?" She goes, "Well, I'm not. I don't even have a boyfriend." And he immediately found, like, for me, if somebody says that, I engage immediately. I'm going to ask 100 questions because I'm very interested. And he said, "Well, what do you mean? You don't have a boyfriend? You don't have a fiance? And you already know?" And she's like, "Yeah, I know everything about my marriage. I know everything about my wedding day. I know exactly what it's got to be a Saturday in June." And she went on and on about all this stuff. And he had called me and said, "Hey, did Mom, do you think she have this all planned out when she was 20? So there's no friggin' way.
No.
There's no way your mother had this all planned out. She didn't have it planned out 3 months ahead of the wedding, much less when she was, still in college." So I was just thinking, is this abnormal behavior? Just straight up, do you think this is normal or abnormal?
I'm going to say abnormal to have so much thought and preparation done by the time you're single and 20. But I did know, the only thing I did know is that I just wanted it to be a very small wedding, which is what it was. We had a big reception, but like a small, we had 20 people on the boat, maybe.
Why did
right?
you want a small wedding versus like a big church,
I just
300 people
hate,
in there? Thing?
Like, it goes back to our birthday conversation yesterday. I hate the feeling of eyes on me.
Which is crazy that there's 100,000 people listening to you at any given moment.
Their ears are on me.
Yeah.
Their eyes aren't on me.
Very weird to me. So my question is this weird? I mean, like, if your 20-year-old daughter came home after her sophomore year in college without a boyfriend or a fiance or anything and just said to you, "Hey, by the way, I spent a lot of time this semester figuring out the details for my wedding."
Yeah. Come look at my vision board.
It's weird. Courtney, normal, abnormal? What are your thoughts on this?
Oh, I think it's pretty normal, actually.
Really? Like, when you were 20, did you know what kind of flowers you wanted to have at your wedding?
Well, maybe not to that extent. I know some girls definitely have, like, their whole Pinterest board, and it's all done already.
Like, she knows exactly how many bridesmaids, how many groomsmen. She's even she's got the groom's tuxedo already picked out. She has her dress already picked out, and she's starting to pay for it. It was one of those kind of not layaway. That's the wrong phrase for it. But she's got it all picked out. She knows exactly where she's going to have it, like what church and everything. She's literally just got to find the guy to plug in here.
Oh, yeah. I think it's more normal than we think now, especially with, like, Pinterest and all the stuff out there that people can just, like, bookmark it away for a couple years. Like, I think that's pretty normal for girls that age now.
So you get that all lined up, then you find the guy. So it's like, marriage.
Seems pretty ass backwards to me.
Wedding planning, marriage, and then baby, normally.
Hello, Holly. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
We are talking this morning about my son who goes to school with this girl. He met her in one of his new classes the other day. And just like, hey, how you doing? Where you from? And she immediately launches into, by the way, I've got my entire wedding planned. And he's like, oh, my gosh, cool. Do I know your boyfriend, your fiance? And she's like, I don't have one. And so he started asking all these questions. And he found out that she has exactly how many bridesmaids she'll have, how many groomsmen he'll have. She has picked out his tuxedo already. Her dress, she's paying for little by little. She knows which flowers. She knows it has to be a Saturday in June. And she doesn't have the guy yet. Is this abnormal behavior in your opinion?
Absolutely. I think she's off her rocker. I mean, I am older than that, so I guess I don't know. My friend group is definitely not in the 20s, but I literally would find that super weird. I guess in private, if you want to kind of sort of have an idea, but to be so specific, I mean, or to buy the dress, you might gain weight. We're females, okay? You ain't not. I'm not my same as someone I have money, so I just think it's a little crazy.
So my follow-up question when he was telling me this is I'm like, would you try and set her up with any of your friends? And he was like, no, I don't think this would fly. I wouldn't do this to any of my friends. And even if you do have all of this planned, if you tell people about it, I think no matter what, they're going to look at you cockeyed.
Yeah, they're going to be like, wow. Because, I mean, there's so much to look forward to in life, and you're focusing on being married, and you don't even have a boyfriend, let alone
I think if she's randomly bringing it up to Peyton, who doesn't hang out with her all that much.
The first time he met her. On the first time he met this girl, she was telling him this.
Word's going to get out. People are going to be like, okay, I want to steer clear of this stage 5.
Now, have you been married, Holly? Are you wedded now?
So that's actually kind of complicated. Okay. No, I'm not married, but I do have kids, and I have been with my guy for over 10 years, and I literally have zero desire to plan a wedding. It sounds disgusting to me.
Disgusting.
God, you're going to save yourself so much drama, and I mean, go elope. Go somewhere, go to Vegas, have fun, do it your way.
Why is a wedding so unappealing to you?
Just because I've been to weddings and people are like, oh, I can't believe she picked those flowers or that dress. And it's so dramatic. And I'm like, no, I'm good.
I know. I've gone almost a decade without going to weddings, and now I have 4 lined up in the next year. So, I mean, you could be saving your guests a lot of work, and they have to buy you stuff. Just go somewhere. I think people with families, you already have a family. Go somewhere so you guys can celebrate together.
So if we robbed Kat's wallet while she was taking one of her notorious 20-minute poops during the show and took all her credit cards and were willing to pay for your wedding, you wouldn't even do it?
If someone would pay for it and I guess plan it for me, I'd be down. Sure. I'm not against marriage. I love the guy I'm with, and I don't plan to ever not be without him. Just the actual idea of having to plan it and pay for it, I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah. And he doesn't want to get married either, huh?
Oh no, he does, but I told him, I'm like, hey, you plan it and tell me when, I'll show up with the dress, I guess.
That's the holdup, is you having to plan it. And so if somebody else does, they tell you exactly where and when to be. That's why I want to be a wedding planner. I would love to do that for you.
Oh, really? Oh, that bless you, because that sounds horrible.
Well, she's going to do it for a considerable fee, Holly. You need to understand. She's going to really rob you.
Yeah, see, so it's a dual thing. It's I don't want to pay for it or plan it.
All right. Well, hey, I'm glad that you called this morning. It was fun to have you on the show, and I hope you have a great day, all right?
You too. Thank you so much.
This is really interesting, and I wanted to spend a couple of seconds on this. If you have to go to the pharmacy for anything, all right, so my wife has these, and thankfully we have good insurance, right? She's got these incredibly expensive chemotherapy drugs. I have a son who's a type 1 diabetic, and insulin is the 5th or 6th most expensive liquid on the planet.
I think that's the story that is just awful and so sad, is that mom that had to watch her son
ration his insulin, and then he ended up dying, right? Yeah.
I mean, it's just heart-wrenching.
I think all of us know somebody who's paying an exorbitant amount for some kind of a medication. this just kind of coming through right now. Billionaire Mark Cuban, you know him as the guy that owns the Dallas Mavericks. He's been on Shark Tank. Yep. I mean, he's out there and obviously living his best life. He's going to go to war with Big Pharmacy. So here's how this is working out. He has launched an online low-cost pharmacy that offers affordable generic versions of, so far, 100 life-saving medications. He says his goal is to transform how the notoriously confusing and shady industry operates and to make medication more affordable for everyone. So here's the plan. He says by doing this, he'll have radical transparency in pricing. Now, he says here's how it makes it work. Normally, for a business to operate, and if you've ever been, through kind of business school, there's about a 15% manufacturing cost markup. So you take the price of the drug, whatever it costs, say it's $100. You increase that by 15%. That's your markup at the cash register. That can afford for you to keep the warehouse online, the workers online, pay them a salary, pay their insurance, yada, 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 right?
Right.
Notoriously, some of these drug companies, he wants to have the 15% markup so he can fund it. Most of these drug companies have over 1,000% markup. So if you have a $47 prescription for life-saving leukemia drugs, it's usually about $10,000 to get that $47 prescription. So basically, he's starting to get the word out on this. And when this thing gets online and flowing, he wants to get as many people to obviously go this route as possible. So I just wanted to give you a heads up on this. I haven't done a tremendous amount of research. I was reading about it for about the last hour, and it was just compelling enough that I wanted to talk about it because if you have anybody in your life, whether it's a child, yourself, a grandparent, a loved one that is any kind of on medication, you find yourself going to CVS or Walgreens or wherever and thinking, the worst is, what if you don't have insurance? Like I said, when my wife gets done with her cancer treatments, this is going to be an upwards of $5 million thing to save her life.
Yeah.
How do you do that if you don't have insurance? How do you even go to sleep at night thinking that you're going to lose your house, your kids' education, all of that stuff? So I at least wanted to get it on the radar for you guys. If you want to look into it more on your own time, basically it's if you just search out Mark Cuban goes online pharmacy. And it's so far, he's going to start out with 100 life-saving prescriptions, and he's going to mark these things all down. So if you want to see whether or not your insurance covers it, whether you can get it out of pocket, do a little research. But I thought it was too important not to say something about.
Yeah, I agree with, the things that you absolutely need to live and survive. And Liam has a friend who is deathly allergic to shrimp and sunflower seeds, and he has to have an EpiPen when he goes anywhere. Those things are $375 on a good day. And I remember Liam had a really bad attack one time, and we were at the doctor. She goes, "You might want to pick one up." I'm like, "Oh my God, almost $400." And then they expire. But then someone's like, "Yeah, if somebody has a drug problem, they'll give them, was it Narcan or Narcan or whatever for free." And it's just not, there's a lot of unjust.
Well, we all say there's a lot of problems in the world with this. We all say there's a lot of problems, but nobody has the chance to fix it, mostly because we're financially strapped.
Right.
We're paying our mortgage, we're paying our car payments, we're paying to put our kids to school, whatever the deal is. Mark Cuban has got billions.
We need these people.
And it reminded me, Kat and I were talking during that last song, of when Elon Musk said, somebody said, hey, $6 billion would solve the world's food crisis and hunger crisis. And Elon Musk goes, okay, show me how, and I'll give you the $6 billion. And everybody's like, oh, I don't know.
Oh, he's actually going to do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
He called him to the table and he's like, I'll write a check today for you.
Yeah.
And I'll solve the world's hunger crisis.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody was able to show how that $6 billion would be spent to feed all the hungry people across the planet. And so I just thought, like I said, I wanted to make sure that it was at least on your radar if you want to do some more research. I thought it was a pretty cool situation to see somebody with that a massive amount of money going, I would like to do something really good with this. I love that feel. We used to do it with several members of the show reading from a movie, and then Kat just put a stop to it one day after a couple of bottles of wine. She texted us on a Thursday night and said, I'll just be doing that from now on because I don't think you guys are very good. And we said, all right, we'll take it and run.
There you go.
Nobody wants to fight Kat after wine night. So here's how it works. We're going to spin the wheel here real quick. If you want to reach behind you and give that thing a big Wheel of Fortune spin, please. It'll land on a category. Could be action, could be drama, could be horror, could be...
I like it.
All right, so today is comedy.
Okay.
All right, so why don't you grab the script off there. Open that up.
One of your favorites.
Okay. I don't know what movie it is yet, but I'm going to play along with you. And what Kat says is that she can, by herself, do better at reading all of the lines from this movie than we would helping her. So when you're prepared, and by the way, you got to call immediately when you know what movie she's reading from. And we'll grab you some sweet stuff out of the Playhouse Prize Closet, newly updated for 2022. Are you prepared?
I'm ready.
And action.
Hey, Carl, what's up? Nothing much, Billy. I see you got some sun today.
I got it.
Oh, you think so? I fell asleep by the pool for a few hours. Did you fall asleep or did you pass out? Shut up! And scene.
Love it. Carl, what's going on with you?
Just drop my kids off, take my wife to the doctor. So.
All right. Well, hey, I appreciate you spending a little time with us. One of our favorite movies of all time. That's You. A whole bunch of sweet swag on a chilly Tuesday morning. So congratulations, man.
Awesome. Thank you.
Wake up,
You're welcome.
with the Playhouse. KCLD.
The voices really did it for me this time.
Did it?
Yeah.
I was trying to, this could be all milk, but I didn't know, it's hard to make that sound to your voice.
And he's such a pro at it. You know what I mean? He's been doing that character forever.
Shampoo goes on first.
I'm better. No, you're better.
God, what a classic.
Pat and I discovered about a week and a half ago that if we take people's Facebook posts out of context and make them incredibly dramatic, that it at least entertains us. May I start today?
You may. I'm all ready with mine.
I'm not going to mention her name, but this just popped up this morning on mine, and I thought this would be perfect for this bit. I love you so much, babe. Nick. I cannot wait for our future together. You amaze me every day and have grown so much since we've been together. I'm so proud of you. Thank you for being an amazing boyfriend. I cannot wait for what's to come in our lives and our future. God's got us. I love you so much.
I felt that.
Are you prepared?
I'm ready. This is Becky. I need a recommendation for good hair salons around St. Cloud. I want to be blonde again. Help. Microphone emoji. Oh, Becky with the good hair.
Let me guess. Becky's got upwards of 300 comments and recommendations on it.
We're at 54.
Pretty decent for Becky.
Radio Paparazzi.
Okay, so Peter Dinklage, you know him, Call Me Elf One More Time. He is
Game of
criticizing, Disney is developing a remake of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and they have tried to become a little bit more woke with their plot lines, except for the dwarfs and their roles.
Have I done nothing to advance the cause from my soapbox? I guess I'm not loud enough. I don't know what studio that is, but they were so proud of that, and all love and respect to the actress and to the people who thought they were doing the right thing. But I'm just like, what are you doing?
He was like, they chose a Latino lead for Snow White, so Latina is a Latina lead for Snow White. But he goes, they still got these dwarves living in a cave. What are we doing here?
But what's a suggestion? You can't come to the table with a gripe. Not have a suggestion. Are these seven dwarves in the working world? Should they all share a loft in Manhattan? Like, is that what he's thinking they should be doing? Like, we should modernize this? Like, if you're going to be woke,
if you modernize it, there's probably not seven dwarves living together either. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, there has to be. Like, what was the one with Amanda Bynes? Sydney White? And all they weren't dwarves, but they all kind of encompassed the character. Like, he had Sneezy and Sleepy and Grumpy, and I don't know how they're going to do it, but obviously he is not happy. Lil Nas X, you would think that his lifestyle, being a rapper, a gay rapper, he said growing up that way was very, very difficult for him back where he grew up. But he said that social media has actually been his best friend.
It's been like my actual home. It's like my actual family. I've become closer with people who I've met online than people who I've met in real life. I've learned the ways of the internet. I've learned how to go viral and what to stay out of.
There you go. I mean, if you can find like-minded people that make you a little bit more at ease, rather than the people, maybe even your family made you feel really bad about who you are. Why not create a different world online? Who knows? Kristen Stewart, she is doing press for her new movie where she's Princess Diana. She was on with Stephen Colbert, and she's talking about the pandemic and one big awesome thing that came out of it.
Made a hole-in-one, which I was like, wow.
You made a hole-in-one?
Yeah.
Wow. Par 3.
That was like a 10-second occurrence over the course of this whole... What'd you do in your pandemic time? I made a hole-in-one. You're really highlighting the coolest part of your, the coolest one moment of your experience.
So what I think is really messed up when you make a hole-in-one, you have to buy the whole clubhouse around.
Yeah, because it's
That's
so rare.
That's so messed up. Why would you ever have to
never
do that?
know.
I'd never know.
Let's begin now.
It's not too bad. Only feels like 32 below zero right now.
Oh, God.
Good.
I left my
God.
garage. It was 6. I don't have a heated garage.
Yeah, but
6.
it was warm enough in there.
I went a half a block down. It was 10 below.
Yeah, that'll happen. I mean, it was warm enough in your garage, but it's dangerous outside this morning. A lot of schools. I know my daughter goes to public school, and they pulled the plug on that early yesterday. My son doesn't. And they're like, nah, we're going to try it. And I was like, all right, whatever. So some people are going, some people aren't. If you're not sure about your kiddos, text the word school to 251-1047. We'll get you caught up on who's delayed, who's at home, who's not going at all, courtesy of our friends at Andy's Towing. How about your Monday? Give me some good stuff.
I went to Target. I posted on my Snapchat, if you saw it, Pooh Bag Diva, all one word. These 2 kids, it was adorable. They go in and they only buy cookie dough. Okay, they're like, I don't know, 20s, early 20s. And I'm like, they're going to go home, make those cookies, Netflix and chill. She's probably going to get pregnant.
Was it the roll of like cold cookie dough? Like you can scoop it off with a spoon?
Oh,
or did
the
they buy
Pillsbury square, and then they're all like, cookied off.
Sure.
So you just have to put them in the oven. But I'm like...
Nobody puts those in the oven. Don't you eat them cold? I eat them frozen all the time, yeah.
When have I ever gone to Target and only got cookie dough was my question. And now she's going to get pregnant, and now they're going to have to go and get diapers and $200 worth of stuff they don't need.
That's funny when you see 2 little kids go in somewhere and mom's just sitting in the car still. Like, I ain't going out in the winter weather.
Well, they weren't little kids. I said they were early 20s.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, so they're going to... That's all they did. They had a hankering for cookie dough and went to Target. I got VIP Imagine Dragons box seats for Liam and I. We got a little gift given to us by a friend. So that was a cool surprise yesterday. I made pork and red cabbage power bowls. So those were delicious. And then we had basketball. I cleaned, had a face steam. And that's it.
I came home yesterday, and my wife works from home. I walked in, I gave her a kiss on the forehead. I said, how's your day going? She goes, good. We have a Shields credit card. And what happens with Shields is, since we're such a sporting family, it's great because you spend so much, they send you a gift card in the mail.
Uh-huh.
And I see a couple of $50 Shields cards laying on her desk. I go, are we spending that much money that they're just sending us $100 in gift cards? She goes, no, I set those aside. We had those. I set those aside for you.
Yeah.
And I go,
nice.
well, wait, what? She goes, what you wear into the hot tub when it's just you and I, like, that's fine, but we have to up your shorts game for Mexico.
Oh.
And
do you have, swim trunks with holes in them?
No, I just have swim trunks that, like, the problem is if you have a hot tub, with the bromine or the chlorine, it fades your stuff, right?
Oh, okay.
And I said, well, I always wear those into our hot tub because I don't wear them, like, to the lake or anything. Like, if,
Yeah.
She goes, yeah, we're going to have to get you there to get you something else. And I looked at her and I said, Trish, in the 22 years we've been married, never once have I looked at you and tried to fix your style or said, that thing you're wearing, yeah, we're going to have to get you something different.
Yeah, but I think she would have appreciated it because you have had those thoughts probably.
No, I don't. I don't care what she wears. I don't. I really don't care. Like, it's beyond my caring of what anybody else wears. I just don't care.
I think you should definitely care about what your spouse looks like. Smells like.
I care what she looks like, but if it makes her happy wearing bleached out old shorts, then wear bleached out old shorts. I don't care.
You're getting new swim trunks. You're the only person I know that can gripe about it. Can we go back to the forehead kiss? There's nothing creepier. I can't believe that.
Well, she was working, so I just kind of put my arm around her. I could tell she was really busy.
Oh, I got the shivers.
So I just put my arm around her, gave her a kiss. I said, "How's your day?" She goes, "Good." I go, "Oh my God, are we spending that much money at Shields?" She goes, "Yeah, you need to go get new shorts because you suck." I'm like, "All right, love you too."
Well, can't wait to see them.
Yeah, me either. I got to go get new shorts today, apparently. So today going to be a good day. On the coldest day of the freaking year, I got to go get swimwear for Mexico in a month, which is okay.
It'll warm you up. Kaylee, this is not her real name. She emailed us last week, and she's on her way to work right now. It says, I know you guys help people with issues. I have a coworker that I think about all the time. He's married. He has 2 kids. I look to see if he checks out my social media posts or watches my stories. If he doesn't look, I have the worst day. I feel embarrassed to even admit that I am obsessed with his attention. He has no clue. I play it cool. I haven't told anybody, to be honest. I freak myself out. I think about him all the time. Last Tuesday, he was gone from work, and I felt sick all day. It's not normal to feel like this, and I need to know how to get over it. I would never do anything with a married man. 1158 texted in and said, it happened to me, sort of. I had a big crush on a guy that I work with, but he's not available. I used to keep sriracha in my desk drawer because I heard him ask for it one day. I hate spicy things. Just so you could be the one that says, oh, yeah, I got some over here. My sister told me to snap out of it and look for things that would turn me off about him, and it actually worked. Kaylee, that might work for you. If you just start looking for something you don't like about someone. I know that you're not supposed to do that with humans, but in this case, I probably would.
This text came from Carrie. She said, you only live once, and lots of people live different lifestyles. Go ahead and ask him. You never know. He and his wife might be looking to add somebody to their relationship. It works for my husband and I.
Okay. This is not a you don't get what you don't ask for situation.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
If you find the right way to phrase this, if you walk up and you be like, listen, I'm seriously addicted to your vibe. Do you love your wife and your kids?
That was like too smooth. That is weird.
I don't know. I mean, what do you got to lose?
6881 says, I said, call in. This is great advice. It would be helpful for her to delete him off social media so she's not obsessing. When it's out of sight, it's out of mind. That's a great bit of advice. Also, telling someone that she has these feelings might be easier for her to process and realize that it's not healthy. 8691 says you need to get a new job. That might help. I mean, if you're to the point where you're just obsessing about it. This person does not want their name used, so we will not. But it says, I had a crush on a boy, and my mom got married to his uncle. So then we became cousins, and so I couldn't have a crush on him anymore. My mom and dad, or stepdad, continuously reminded me that he is family now. So you can't see him as that anymore. I just kind of avoid him at family functions. So I guess that's what you have to do. But listen, like on Teen Mom, Caitlin and Tyler got married and they were step siblings. So if it can happen on MTV, it's okay.
And most people are saying find another job.
Yeah. What is this one from Daniel? Tell her once you get a glimpse of my mullet, you'll forget about your crush. Daniel.
Dude, all right. This is not a dating game right now. But if you got a suggestion about how to get over something like this, I definitely want to hear it, okay?
I don't know. I don't know how you do it aside from getting another job. Like, you just have to separate yourself. If you don't have any other connection to him aside from work, and that is what fuels your obsession, you got to not follow him on social media, or at least hide him. Then he won't see his stuff. And then
see his stuff.
Yeah. Okay, great. Good to have you. A New Mexico family, the Goodmans. I posted the video of this on my Facebook page, and it is quite scary. I don't know why you would buy an old mental hospital and turn it into a hotel. But over the weekend, they wanted to document what happens almost nightly. Listen to this.
Oh my God, Dad, can you please go turn on those
Just pounding all the doors.
Whatever.
Oh my God.
You're recording that, right?
Yeah.
Be quiet.
I'm not buying a spot at your hotel. I'm not staying there. It's such a bunch of lies.
At one point in the audio and the video, you listen and it sounds almost like when they yell, like, it's time to go to bed, shut up. It starts like almost like a native drum beat. And it's insane. It is a crazy video. No, it's not. Go stay there. Check it out. Let me know what happens.
I wouldn't have I would sleep like a baby at a place like that.
You would not. I think everything that you negate, you would walk out a different person. I feel like you
skinny.
You would not.
I would lose a lot of weight there. That would be awesome.
Hopefully. All right. So listen to this toddler having a pretend phone call with grandma. And let's just hope a real phone call doesn't go this way.
Oh, Grandma, you're so funny.
No way.
Yep.
Whoa. That was the Effenheimer.
Rhymes with truck. Paris Halton, she says that she thinks it's super rude to leave 1-star reviews.
I think that's so rude because you could really hurt someone and people are struggling right now and it's just not nice. If you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all.
You know what? If you've watched her show on Peacock, I think she's a really nice person. I don't know if it's, I don't know if she was raised to be that socialite that is just rude to people. I think she's a nice person all around. So she was talking about that. I'm like, there are some times, though, people need to know that they just gave you 1-star service. Don't you think? That's how people better themselves, I feel like. So if you had to give a 1-star review to something today, what would it be?
Right now, easily. The My Chevrolet Rewards app.
Yep.
2 weeks ago.
Moaning about it.
2 weeks ago. And here's the deal. I bought a brand new truck in August. And one of the cool things is you get all these rewards points.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, oh, cool. What can I spend my rewards points on? Well, if you download their app, you can start your vehicle or unlock your vehicle from anywhere on the planet for like 3,000 or 9,000 points, whatever the deal was. So I'm like, yo, I'm going to wait till it starts getting cold because we have to park a block away here.
Yeah.
My remote start doesn't work from our building. So I'm like, cool. I download the app. And then the week it starts getting super cold, the app crashes. Oh, you're out of points. Hey, can I reload? No. Why? Because we just rebuilt our website and it doesn't work. That was 2 weeks ago. You know how cold it's been the last 2 weeks? Sub-zero almost every day. Today I get an email. Welcome to our brand new rewards program.
Yeah.
Can I download the thing? No. It still won't let me. It gets all the way to the point where it has all of my information and you hit redeem. Nothing. It just sits there. It's been this way for like 2 weeks. So,
but you're not currently paying for anything that you're not getting a service for, right?
No, but I've got. So what they do is every time you get service or buy a new vehicle or do anything, they give you a bunch of points.
Yeah.
Why? I can't use them. I got 30,000 points.
Yeah.
That I can't use. And all I want you to do is update my app so I can start my car 15 minutes before I leave work when it's 15 below zero.
That sounds 1-star to me.
That's 1 star. I would give you 1 star on a poop if I could give you one. It sucks. And I've talked to 12 people at OnStar and Chevrolet.
Yeah.
And not one of them will tell me anything other than, oh, they've had some difficulty with the website since they've rebuilt. Can I talk to anyone? Where is Bill Chevrolet? Can I get his number, please? Or Jimmy OnStar? Give me Carol Chevrolet's phone number so I can get this updated. It is bothering me to the 9th degree. It's occupied almost all of my spare time.
Yes, it has, and a lot of our conversations. So there you go, 1-star review. I would have to say the last pedicure I got was terrible. It was dirty. And once you get into the chair and your feet are wet, it's hard to put your socks back on and leave, so you just kind of muscle through it. But it was the worst. I'm not going to say where, because sometimes it's a one-time thing. But what is the last 1-star review you would leave? And we're not going to read where or what happened. I'm just curious, all right? Because Paris Hilton saying leaving a 1-star review is rude is what's trending.
Thanks for starting your morning with us. I'm JJ Katz here. My beautiful wife, Trisha, looked at me and said, honey, what? This is a very out-of-the-box idea for our family. So my daughter will be going away to college this fall. My son will be starting his junior year in college. And my wife said, guys, what if we don't do Christmas presents in December? What if we just go on an elaborate family vacation? And a couple of years ago, we took an RV to the Rocky Mountains, and that was great. We really, really liked it. It was a lot of fun. We spent some good family time there. And she said one of her friends had said, maybe take the train. And I said, what, like the Amtrak? it's just never been part of our lives.
My Aunt Mary Ellen used to take that all the time to get to Detroit. And then my brother Casey and his wife, they take it to Montana to see her family all the time. And they get these awesome carts to themselves, like their own little
like a sleeping car.
Yeah. And then the food cart will walk by. It's like old fashions, like something out of like a mystery Johnny Depp train movie.
So I don't know anything about them. And my wife said, you just sit there and you look out the window, somebody else. And I when we rented the RV, I did almost all the driving.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was just it. It was just my wife wasn't comfortable driving. I said, that's fine, no problem. But then I started thinking, how great would this be to just sit here? And they go through the most scenic areas because a lot of them will follow rivers or anything that's been kind of cut out into the landscape, right? And I started thinking this could be really cool. And the more I looked into it, it seems pretty economical. Now, the thing is, you'd have to pay, and I think my wife priced it out. It would be $200 a ticket for us to go to and fro.
Okay.
And so we're like $1,200 in on the tickets. And then, but what I read is you can bring your own snacks on board. You can bring your own booze if you want. And you just get in and you ride. Now, some people said if you're not a fan of have to have a certain way to sleep, you can sleep sitting up. You can get a sleeper car. There's all these options. But what I wanted to ask is anyone listening really, really keen on this? This is the way you guys do travel, vacation, stuff like that.
So I'm doing some research here. You could do like a USA coast to coast for $197 to start.
So we were thinking,
so you could upgrade.
Yeah, we're probably like maybe a 10-day thing, 10 or 11 days. We're thinking
on the train.
Maybe no. We just want to go somewhere on the train.
Oh, got it.
And then spend some time there. Like she was like Jackson Hole or something like that, where we could go. You could get some nature. You could do some walks and some hikes and stuff like that. There would be a little bit of an urban area if you wanted to go shopping. And that was just we were just throwing words out there and names and locations out there. But take the train and then get a car and get some VRBOs and.
So my main worry is motion sickness. I don't know how I would do, especially if I were to sit backwards, I would have to sit forwards. Like these are all things that people with motion sickness think about right away because you don't want to feel like you're green in the face for your whole vacation. So these are questions I need answered.
Sounds like it's 24 hours to Wyoming, roughly, or Montana if we wanted to go.
You could drive there in half that time.
I know, but then you don't have to drive. For me, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can just sit here.
I love road trips.
And I'm thinking I can play chess. I can play cribbage with my wife. I mean, we could do whatever. You know what I mean? And you get to meet people along the way that are in the cars.
Don't you wonder why it takes so long when trains don't have to stop?
Well, because they don't go in a straight path. Like if you wanted to drive to Denver, you could get almost on an immediate straight path. Because there's a lot more roads than there are railways.
Yeah.
They go this sorted route, like through Minot or, Afghanistan.
Yeah, look at that beautiful Minot.
Said no one ever.
No one.
Especially any Air Force vets. Now, here's what I want. Have you done the train thing? You want to read Annette's text here real quick? I know she threw in that she can't call because she's at work.
She said, took several train trips, Portland, Oregon to Minnesota. Myself, loved it. 30 hours to do nothing and you just kind of relax. So that's the appeal for you, is that you're not driving. I love road trips, so I wouldn't mind driving.
I don't mind it. It's just thinking about, hey, you can just hang out and see the scenery and not have to worry about where your next turn is or anything like that.
Texted as well. I've actually taken a train. I think it's a good way to travel, but I would suggest getting the sleeping cars. Otherwise, it's kind of like a bus. I have never understood the people that are like, I'm going to take a coach bus.
These people that take what is it called? What's the one that goes to Chicago?
Greyhound.
It's called no. It's the big one. It's the double-decker red one.
What?
There's a, why am I not remembering it right now? But they've got Wi-Fi on the bus.
And they take it to Chicago?
Yeah, and it's like $20 or $30 to get to Chicago. The Megabus.
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Book the Megabus.
Yeah. People do this all the time, and they say they love it. Now, every once in a while, you run across somebody who's not your type of person on the bus, or they might be a little too engaging in your life that you might have to shy away from. But people seem to love it. So, hey, I appreciate you guys' feedback on this. So weird.
Weird stuff. Everybody called me weird. I am weird.
You don't think this is a little weird?
No, I don't think it's weird at all.
Weird news.
I really think, truly, they need to bring back those after-school specials where the kids sat down and they're like, okay, this is right and this is wrong, because kids these days are doing dumb stuff. This kid accepted a dare to spray 2 full cans of Axe body spray on his nipples and then had somebody flick them until they fell off. His nipples actually froze and they popped off his body. I saw the photos this morning and we have some audio here.
The boy with no nipples.
Ew, and now you smell like the locker room at an all-boys school.
Playing in the UK on Nickelodeon.
They froze off.
I can't even with people's kids. What
if that was your kid? Mom, you know what we did today? And my nipples fell off.
What a bummer.
How do you
That's
know?
what I would say. I would have no sympathy. I would say, bummer. Get ready for dinner.
And they don't grow back, right?
Do nipples grow back? Is that your question that you're asking me?
Right.
I actually don't know that. I feel like it's an appendage, so maybe. Do nipples grow back? My Google search is not
I thought
normal.
everything grew back except for teeth.
Yeah, that stat yesterday. They do not grow back.
They don't.
If they are completely damaged or removed from the body, they will not grow back.
The Playhouse Podcast is made possible thanks to Bradshaw and Bryan Law Offices. Catch the live show weekdays from 5:30 to 9 on 104.7 KCLD. Now, share this with a friend.